Hey everyone, this is Davy Mooney coming to you from the University of North Texas where I run the jazz guitar program. Benedetto artist, Sunnyside Records artist, got my CD live at National Sawdust. Got an improv book called Personalizing Jazz Vocabulary, and as always thanks to Jazz Guitar Today for collaborating with me on these videos to get them out to the world. I want to talk today about the Chick Corea tune Windows. Fitting, we lost Chick, I guess has it been a month, very recently. One of the great jazz pianists, jazz composers, and really just jazz figures of the last 50 years. I got to meet him one time. I saw him at the Blue Note. I think it was his 70th birthday celebration, the Blue Note in New York, and he was playing trio with Brian Blade and Gary Peacock. And they were doing a lot of Bill Evans stuff, like stuff from Portrait in Jazz. I remember they played Periscope, and Someday My Prince Will Come, and stuff like that. And I got to go backstage and meet him, and he was super gracious. One of those things where you see someone who's such a legend, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Chick." Hey man, nice to meet you. But anyway, this is such a beautiful tune. I think it was first recorded on Sweet Rain, the Stan Getz record with Ron Carter, Grady Tate. That must have been 67, 68, something like that. And then on Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, I guess it wasn't on the original record, but it's on the CD that I had. And of course, like many of these tunes, I first learned it from the real book, That's My Generation, and mysteriously it was in B-flat minor, I remember. And I went back and checked, and I was listening to different versions to see where this B-flat minor key came from. Like I went and found the version on Intervisions that's supposedly where the real book chords come from, and it sounded like B minor to me. I don't know. Stan Getz is B minor. Now He Sings, Now He Sobs is B minor, etc. So who knows? One of those little anomalies. Although I will say, playing in B minor can be strange for me at times on this song, just because you end up with things like with all the modulations, you end up with stuff like, you know, A sharp minor 7 flat 5 to D sharp 7 to G sharp minor. And even if you convert that to like a flat key, it feels kind of strange sometimes to play in that universe of relationships in B minor. So anyway, the chord structure, you basically have, it's kind of a mixture, this tune, of modal harmony and functional harmony, which is one of the things that's really cool about it. It's sort of a gateway tune into, like, I guess more sort of ECM sounding jazz, but it also has 5/1s and things like that. So anyway, so you got 4 bars of B minor, basically. You got that melody, and then G sharp minor 7 flat 5 for I guess 3 measures, and a quick C sharp 7, then F sharp minor for 4 bars, then D7 sus for 4 bars, or A minor, to E Lydian for 8 bars. And just right there in the beginning, you know, that's pretty functional harmony, right? You have B minor. I tell my students too, like, when I'm playing over this tune, I think about, you know, it's B minor for 7 bars, basically, because G sharp minor 7 flat 5. Another way to think about that, those minor 7 flat 5 chords, it's like B minor 6 with a 6 in the bass, and the upper structure of G sharp minor 7 flat 5 is B minor anyway. So I think like 7 bars of B minor when I'm playing, and a quick call it C sharp 7 or D flat 7 to F sharp minor. And then you have, you know, you can kind of rock out on F sharp minor for 4 bars, make it kind of Dorian, I guess, or I guess if you want to get fancy, you could make it sort of melodic minor. And then that A minor slash D7 sus for the next 4 bars. You can also treat it as like A Dorian, D flat Mixolydian, or I guess you could make it Lydian dominant because it's going to E major, so it's sort of like a 4 minor 1 resolution. Think about A minor as being the 4 minor of E. Hank Mackey used to call that subdominant minor, since the 4 is the subdominant. I always thought about it too as like a Beatles resolution, because you kind of have the 4 major, 4 minor to 1. And you could also think of F sharp minor as like an A major, right? With F sharp in the bass. I mean, the upper structure again is an A major triad, and then so it could be like A major to A minor to E, and then it's E Lydian. The melody there, you have Lydian for 4 bars, and sometimes I'm sorry, for 8 bars. And sometimes if I get sick of playing Lydian, I've been playing multiple choruses on this. Sort of the next level of dissonance I'll go to over major 7, sharp 11 chord. Sometimes I'll also put a sharp 9 in there. Major 7, sharp 9. I learned this chord from Steve Mazikowski in his tunes. Often I'll have this chord in there. And it's kind of cool. You can think of it as being like G sharp harmonic minor. And it adds a little bit of like funkiness to that E major 7, sharp 11, but not too much, just a little bit. And then you have the next part of this tune, you have this A flat 7 to A7 thing sequence, which is interesting because it's kind of, on the one hand, it's kind of bluesy, and it sort of reminds me of the Wes Montgomery version of Besame Mucho, where he goes. So on the one hand, you could kind of think of it as like A flat bluesy, and kind of just ignore the A7 in a certain sense, or you could think like A flat 7, to 1-5-1. Maybe think of the A7 as being like coming from E melodic minor. That's one way to do it. And if you want to go for that sort of flamenco Spanish tinge, if you will, you can kind of think of the whole thing as coming from like a C sharp harmonic minor, where there's one note in there that doesn't fit in that scale, right? If you have there's no G natural in a C sharp harmonic minor, but it's kind of just a bluesy note anyway. So that's sort of if you want to zoom out into a tonality, you could do A flat blues or C sharp harmonic minor. And the next part of the tune, there's this long sequence of moving bass notes, but I like to reduce it when I'm thinking about playing over it particularly. In the head of the tune, after that A flat 7, 8 bars of A flat 7 to A7 and back, you have E major, then kind of E major over D sharp, C sharp minor over B, A sharp minor 7 flat 5, and it kind of walks down to E flat 7 over G, E flat 7, and then another sequence where you have G sharp minor 7 over F sharp. Then I guess you would even, if you wanted to be really a pain in the neck, you could call that E sharp minor 7 flat 5, then to C sharp dominant, and then E major 7 again, E major 7 over D sharp, C sharp minor 7, C7. Oh my god, that was a lot of movement. And then there's the top. So I like to reduce that down, especially when I'm soloing. That's like way too many things to think about. So after the A flat 7 to A7, I just think that it's C sharp minor, kind of a lot like the beginning, that it's C sharp minor for 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, and then A sharp minor 7 flat 5, which is still C sharp minor right at the top. So it's kind of just like the beginning, and then you sneak in a bar of E flat 7 or D sharp 7 to G sharp minor. So the same as the beginning, just instead of B minor, you're on C sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, still C sharp minor. You can still play C sharp minor. And then a quick D sharp 7 to G sharp minor. And then I guess you could just think about that as F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which is, or you could go A flat minor to D flat 7 for two beats, 2 bars. And I think that on the, what was it? Was it Sweet Rain? I heard Ron Carter do that. And so during the solo, instead of going, he just goes, and then he goes C sharp minor to C7, B minor. So he skips the whole thing on the head of like, and I think that's very helpful. I don't know if they had that in their solo changes or whatever, but yeah, if I tried to think about all those moving bass notes on that harmony, especially when it's just diatonic in the scale, it would just confuse me. So one more time, like after the A flat 7 to A7, what I play is C sharp minor for like 4 bars, G sharp minor 7 flat 5 for 3 bars, E flat 7 or D D sharp 7, A flat minor, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then I guess I do sort of think about E over D sharp, C sharp minor, D flat 7, although really for playing purposes, right there I could just think C sharp minor as well. C7, B minor. And yeah, so one other thing that's kind of cool, I like how at the end of this song they go to like the major key as like a little coda and just kind of go B major to C sharp minor, or maybe it's all over B, I don't remember, but B major is such a great key. I don't know, it's so bright, right? I think about Central Park West, Coltrane, and Giant Steps is in B, of course, but something about the key of B. And I have this tune of mine called that I did on my first Sunnyside album called Perrier Street, and I wanted it to be in B because I wanted it to be really bright. Anyway, so I'm going to play a few choruses on this tune and explore some of these ideas. I hope you enjoy it.